Hello, shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were discussing G codes and we had finished N cycle G81, G83, G84, and G86. I also told you about back boring cycle, which is not important from examination point of view. G88 also not important. G89 also not important. And this was a summary. So if you have any doubts in this, you please ask. Okay, so then we'll go ahead. Subroutines is also called as the subprogram. So suppose if there are some repetitive instructions, then that repetitive instructions you can give in a separate program which is called as the subprogram. And you can call it n number of times. This is exactly same. You are familiar with this subprogram. This is exactly same what you write, the way you are written in your C++ or Java. So it is also called as subroutine. Subprogram is also called as a subroutine. Sometimes it is also called as a looping or macro. Hmm. There is a slightly difference. There is a slight difference between this subprogram, loop, and macro. But right now you can consider it as one only. Hmm. Because macros are written by the machine programmer. That is who is writing these codes. And macros are usually inbuilt in the control itself. Macros are difficult to change. There are locks for the macros, and usually these macros are prepared uh, by the machine programmer. So he writes the program for, like your backlash compensation or lead screw pitch compensation, or for measuring the inside diameter or for measuring the outside diameter of the workpiece, or for centering the workpiece, that is how to center the workpiece. So there are some fixed dedicated programs which are written in using macros. That is one thing. So it is not at the operator level or it is not at the user level. Yes, user hmm, can only use those macros. Users only can call those macros. So there are call statements how to use the macros. Then looping. Loops are always in the main program only. And generally for the loops, it begins with L, L for the loop. So in the main program itself, like N50, that is the block number. So there you write a loop, say L100, and in that only you write some instructions and you end that loop by L0, and then you can call this loop within the program, that is say N100. You have to simply say L50 and how many times you want to call that loop. So loops are generally, or not generally, loops are always in the main program. Subprograms are written separately. Loops are generally short. Loopings are generally short, maybe 5 to 6 lines, whereas subprogram can be, there is no restrictions on the length. Subprograms can be longer than the main program, but loopings are always short. And because loopings we are not writing separately, loopings has to be written in the main program itself. So that was the difference subroutines and subprograms. How, what is the call statement for the subroutine? So subroutine can be called like this L001. So whatever is written uh, in the block number L1, so that is called. And subroutines are end by the word M17. So moment it reads M17, it understands that that's the end of subroutine. Sometimes subroutines are also called as loops, looping. So there's a slight difference: looping, subroutine, subprogram, macro. So this is what a typical example of a subroutine, or here in this case, subroutine is treated as a loop, as a looping. So, and another difference is in looping that G91 has to be used in subroutines, otherwise it cannot become short. So here now see G91, that is incremental code. Then you have Z minus 8. That means what? It is going down below the workpiece 8 mm, because normally we take Z face as Z0, workpiece face as Z0. So here it is Z01 Z minus 8, and feed is 300. Obviously it is millimeter per minute, it cannot be millimeter per revolution. Okay, so once it goes down Zm 8 mm down, then it is moving x40, that is in incremental direction, then y40, then x minus 40, y minus 40. All these are incremental dimensions because G91 is a model command, and then it comes up ZA, and do not forget to write G90, that is absolute. Come back to absolute and end your loop, hmm, or end your subroutine M17. So I don't know how many of you have understood this program. So how does it look like? So this program looks like a sort of a pocket milling whose depth is 8 mm, hmm, whose depth is 8 mm, and it is moving in x direction by 40, y direction by 40, again minus, and again this. So the size of the pocket will be around
Hello,
40 by,
sir.
yeah, yeah,
Sir, someone wants to join in.
okay. Nobody is waiting. I admit it. Is in
No, sir.
Adnan. Yeah,
Huh?
Adnan.
Huh?
Is in yesterday also he had problem. Adnan.
He's in, sir.
Is, okay. Thank you. Okay, so this was hmm. Now you have to write this subroutine in the main program. So now this cannot be called as looping because as I said, looping means it has to be written in the main program. So this is called as the subroutine only or sub program because had it been looping, we write it in the main program. Now how to call this looping in the main program? So the number, hello. So you have now G90, which is nothing but absolute, G71, that is code for millimeter dimensions. Then G94, that is for the feed rate in millimeter per minute. S is 500, that is spindle rotation. It will rotate at 500 rpm. M03, that is clockwise rotation. Then G00, it will move rapidly. X50 and Y50. See, even if we give the decimal point, this particular program is written in Fanuc, so that is sufficient. No need to write X50.000. Now the tool has come Z5. Now here there is a mistake. It should be 5 point. So 5 mm above the workpiece. Now in this case, if it is a Fanuc, then it will take it as 5 micron. That is almost going to bang your workpiece, hit the workpiece. 5 micron, just 5 micron above the workpiece. So it is going to hit the workpiece. And 10 is nothing but the coolant on. Then your this is the call statement for your subroutine. So you are calling L101. Okay, now this gets executed. Now there is M17 as you see earlier. Here M17 is there. Okay, so moment it is M17, it will come out. It will enter into the main program. All right. So first thing was it is doing some operation at 50-50, probably pocket milling. Then it moves to X120, 120. So this is what you have to take care. That is here it is there in your mind and this is a absolute dimension. Okay, whereas in sub program earlier you have called incremental. So make sure that at the end of the subroutine you write G90 so that the next dimension it will take is absolute. If you forgot, then it will again take this dimension will be considered as incremental. So that care you have to take, and this is the mistake generally 90% of the students they do. Then again you are calling that subroutine at this point pocket milling. That means one pocket here, another pocket here, third pocket here. Okay. So probably it's a pocket milling and there are three pockets which are milled here. Then G00, X0, Y0. Again in L101, this subroutine we have already written G90. So it will come to your program 0 point, which is nothing but X0, Y0, and then Z20, M09, that is nothing but a coolant stop, and then M30 is reset and rewind. But so these are some instructions given to the programmer. That is, of course, they should know the drawing well. They should know the material. hmm, They should know. They should be familiar with the operations and various functions of the machines. Right? Then they have to select whether to go for millimeter or inches. Of course, by default, it will be as per the drawing. Whatever is given in the drawing, that only he has to go. He cannot have his own. Hmm. Then decide the coordinate system, decide the program 0 point, hmm, identify the plane of the cutting. So all these instructions, then cutting parameters. Cutting parameters is nothing but the cutting speed and how much is the feed. Before that, he has to select the toolings, what kind of cutting tools, hmm, and then of course machining operations has to be decided first. Hmm. So now this is you just have a look at this diagram properly. बड़ा कर दो. So actually there is a slight, this drawing is not proper because um, your object lines and your dimension lines and your extension lines, your object lines, that is these are called the object lines, your dimension lines and your extension lines all are of equal, weight, मतलब वजन. So there is no difference. But I will tell you, this is what is your program 0 point is, and here you have a plate or a block, you can say, and the block size is it is 400 in this direction and 300 in y direction. If you want, you can, I mean, write if you have notebook and pen with you. Uh, okay, so you have a block of 400 by 300 in which you have to do a bore. Okay, this is a bore. Now, uh, what is the size of the bore? Hmm? This size of the bore is 60. All right, through and through. At a distance of it is at the center, so the distance is 200 by 150. Okay, so ये जो plate है, the size is 400 by 300, and at the center you are doing a bore of 60 dia S7, and S7 means you have to be careful. Moment you read S7 means you have to be careful because the tolerance is around 20 or 25 micron, that is 0.02 or 0.025. Then you have four holes here. So four holes on a PCD of 100, and the size of the hole is, I think it is M10 by 20. All right. So this you have to do, that is drilling and tapping, and then again you have to do two holes, drill two holes. All right. This here. So first we will plan the operations. So what are the operations we will do? So bore diameter 60, that is the center main. Okay, so for that we are using a drill of 55. Then we are using a boring bar of 59.5, and then we are using a finished boring bar of 60. So you are using two boring bars. Why? Because why two boring bars? Because we have a batch, of 100 pieces or 1000 pieces. Fine. So if you want to maintain accuracy when you're talking about 60 S7, then if you use only one boring bar, then it will not give accuracy consistently. So that's why you have to keep a stock of 0.5 as a finishing allowance and use a separate finishing bar. So normally we say this rough boring bar dia 59.5, finished boring bar dia 60. Alright, so this is one. Then you have drilling dia 10. Now drilling dia 10, that is um, HSS drill dia 10, and then you have here, mm, where is that drill dia? I think it is uh, drill two holes. Yeah. So here it is. These are the drill two holes and diameter 10 by 20. So for this, you have HSS drill diameter 10. Then next operation is M12 by 1.75. So that is this M12. So for this, you are going to use a drill dia 10.8 and M12 ka tap. Okay. And then you have again here M10. Hmm? So for this, you will use a drill of 8.5 and a tap of M10. So altogether, how many operations? So that means you have, hmm, if you can see how many operations are there. So one is this, okay, center ka bore. Then you have two holes, that is this and this. Then you have one hole of M12, and then you have four holes of M. Hmm. So again, I repeat, center का जो hole है, that is 60 का S7. It is center of the plate, which is at a distance of 200 by 150. Then you have two holes here of diameter 10. So that is at a distance of 100, and here it is 250. So this is one hole, and you have another hole here that is at a distance of 275 and 50. So these two holes are only plain holes of diameter 10. that is this and this. Then you have one tap tool of M12 that is at a distance of 300 in X and some 275 in Y. And then you have four holes here. That is again a tapping of M10 by 1.5. And you know 1.75 is nothing but the pitch and 1.5 is nothing but the pitch here. Okay. Okay. So four operations. But the tools may be many. Like here for this operation we are using three tools. For this operation one tool. For this operation we are using two tools. Obvious, isn't it? Because for tapping you have to drill and then do the tapping. So operations are four, but the tools are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tools we are using. Hmm. And probably in industry you cannot use this directly. 55 ka you cannot use drill directly. So here uh, you have to use minimum two drills. So maybe this drilling diet 10 which you are using for this operation, these two holes, you can use this initially in the beginning, and then after 10 you can use one more drill of dia 40, and then you can go for, you can jump to drill dia 55, because you cannot directly jump to diameter 55, no way. But if you keep on writing like this, like a industry, then it will take at least 1.5 hours to write the program, and you have only 3 hours in hand. Hmm. So you can just select reasonably just sufficient tools. See, actually in industry they will use the center drill first. Center drill will do drilling, the practice I'm telling how it is practical. So first they will be using, first of course they will be doing facing, because without facing you cannot do the drilling. So first it has to be face, top face as well as bottom face. Then from the top face they will use center drill. So they will center drill all wood. Then they will do diameter 10 ka drilling, hit the center and then this. Then after diameter 10, one more intermediate drill or maybe two, two places, maybe say 30 or 40, then 55 ka drill, then 59.5, then 60, like that. Hmm. So minimum two more drills are required, and if you talk about center drill, so that is one more additional. So if you want to machine it properly, then three more tools are required. But then you don't bother about that. You just try to use the minimum number of tools. Fine. So even if you write here, even if you take here two, uh, two tools, that is also sufficient. You can say one is, because it is a repetitive, so we understand that student has understood. So if you want to minimize from examination point of view, of course here you cannot, because tapping करना है तो drill तो करना ही है. So drill here, दो two tools you have to show. Two tools here also you have to write. Here one tool, and here you can reduce it to two. One you can say drill directly. You can say drill in 59.5. Drill you say 59.5, and then you can say boring bar 60. Right. So this is what is your operation planning and your tool layout is. I think this is slightly clear. Huh? So here this dimension. hmm, So now first is drill, hmm, diameter 55. So industry practices, first you have to do facing, bottom facing, top facing, then you have to do center drilling. Okay, but now we are directly using drill diameter 55. So first, this is what you have to write just to understand in English. All the machines allows you to write the comments. That is core drill dia 55, so that you understand what is tool number one. And this M6 is obviously the tool change. M6 is nothing but the tool change. Okay, now G0 it is moving rapidly. G90 is absolute. Absolute means it will take all the dimensions with respect to the program 0 point, which is nothing but x0, y0. G54 is nothing but the work offset, work offset, work offset. There are 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59. Generally, six work offset provided. But I told you that you just remember only one, that is Z54, that is sufficient. So work offset is nothing but you let machine know where is your workpiece. Like say this is now, consider this, imagine that this screen is nothing but the table. This screen is nothing but the machine cut table. Okay, and consider this, look at this arrow, that is say top right hand corner, top right hand corner. So imagine this is your machine zero point or home point or reference point or reference point. Hello. Yeah. Yes, so G54 is work offset. So imagine now this is your home point or reference point or machine zero point. Okay, now this is what is your workpiece. This is a table, okay, on which the workpiece is mounted here. Workpiece can be mounted here, 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 anywhere. Okay, so now this machine must understand. Machine now knows only where is zero point. यहाँ से it will start measuring. Machine knows only my zero point. That like you know where is your home, isn't it? Where is your home? Then you don't know where is Nariman Point or where is Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus or domestic. You don't know, isn't it? So how do you come to know? Maybe through the Google Map, etc. Okay, so you have Google Map or you have somebody to guide to tell you where you have to go. So like that, we must tell machine where is my workpiece is, because I can keep workpiece here, 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 anywhere. So how the machine will come to know? So you have to uh, define this point, that is with respect to this point you have, where is this point in x and y direction. I hope I have made the things clear now. Okay, so from this point, where is this point in x direction and in y direction, and that is what is called as the work offset. So there are, this is slightly away from the this program, but it is very important from examination point of view, because many times they ask explain work offset or explain tool offset. So explain work offset. So I am explaining you what is work offset. So work offset is nothing but where is your program zero point with respect to your machine zero point. Okay. So there are two systems. One is called as the manual system and another is called as the automatic system. Manual probing or automatic probing. So in case of automatic probing, you have an optical probe which is very expensive, 1.5 lakhs optical probe, Renishaw, imported. So that probes, you have to call that, मतलब call that probe, मतलब उनके ऊपर बुलाना नहीं है. You have to ask for the tool change, M06 and tool probe. Okay, so probe, with the probe you have to touch here and touch here. Okay, okay, so the probe will give the dimension automatically, where is this edge and where is this edge, considering the diameter of the probe also. All right, but it is, you have to handle the probe very carefully. You have to move the probe very carefully, like you're handling a small baby. Hmm. Because it may break, and it may break, that means gone, 1.5 lakhs rupees gone. So that's why, mm, for the beginners this probe is not given. So there is another device which is very I mean economical, and that cost only rupees 800. So that device is called the edge finder. So edge finder, it has just two rotating discs. Initially they are made to move eccentric, and moment edge finder touches the edge here, it moves concentric. That means you understand now it has touched or it has kissed this edge. And same thing here. And then you just subtract the diameter of the edge finder in order to get this and in order to get this dimension. So this is how you get this point. In case of automatic probing, this point is stored automatically. In case of manual probing, you have to save that point, that is that distance x and y, in G54 offset. There is a page which is called the page which is called the work offset page. There is a page which is called the tool offset page, wherein you are writing all the dimensions, all the offsets. So that was your work offset in x and y direction. And similarly, you have to find out the offset in z direction. So z direction may, again, you imagine now this is the spindle vertical. We are talking about vertical milling machine. Imagine now this is the spindle. So you have to uh, make machine understand that where is the spindle face with respect to the top face of the workpiece, because some workpiece may be 25 mm thick, some may be 500 mm thick, isn't it? So the height is changing, thickness of the workpiece is changing. So that top face, where is that top face, that you have to make machine understand. We don't take the distance of the spindle face. What we do, we take the z offset for each and every tool. That is, we fix up a drill, okay, and then that where is that drill point is, that point with respect to the tool face, sorry, workpiece face. So that distance you have to give, and that distance is called as the z offset. Because some drills may be short, some drills may be medium, some drills may be long, barabar na? So that machine must understand. That is Z offset, and that Z offset is given in the tool offset page. And how do you call in the program? By giving G43, by giving G43. That is called the tool length compensation. Hmm? Okay, so now this is what is your G43, that is the tool length compensation. This is what is your tool number one. And what is your tool number one? Tool number one is diameter 55 ka drill. Okay, so G43 is nothing but tool length compensation. And where is your tool length? Where you are given the tool length? In offset H1. Alright, in offset H1. So you have to make sure that if you are using tool number one, you better use tool length offset as H1. You can use H2, you can use H3 also, or you can use H100 also. There are at least 1000 offsets. But just to make for convenience, C1 H1, T2 that is tool number 2, usko offset H2 में. So now here X200 and Y150. So the tool has moved X200, that is here, and Y150, that is here. That means now the tool is here and 100 above the workpiece. Now G98, G81, Z minus 20. Okay, forget about RI, nobody uses this, and F40. So now we are calling a drilling cycle, alright, and it goes 25 down below this workpiece. R5 is not required, and feed is 40, that is 40 millimeter per minute. And G90 means tool will return to its initial position, that is Z100. Now this program, what is wrong is this, that from 100 above the workpiece, the drill is going to move in feed 25 down in the workpiece. So this movement of 100 is idle movement. So your machining time is going to be increased. So that's why you have to insert one more block between N40 and N50. So let us call that one more block as N45. And in N45 we will write G0 Z2. That means from 100 the drill will come rapidly 2 above the workpiece. So your idle time is saved. Otherwise, in this case, from 100 to 25, the tool travel will be 125. So that will take 125 divided by 40, approximately 3 minutes. Remember, approximately 3 minutes. 40 millimeter per minute is the feed rate. So the tool travel is 100 plus 25, that was 125 divided by 40. So that will be 3 point something. So let us call it as 3 minutes. But now you are a smart programmer, you are a smart engineer. So what you have done, you have inserted a block here N45 and वहाँ पे आपने लिखा G0Z2. Okay, and it is rapid movement. So rapid is very fast, 10,000 millimeter per minute. So it will be in seconds, 10 meters per minute. So it has to move only 98 millimeters. So it will take seconds. So you can ignore it. And now from 2 to 25. So that means the tool travel will be 27 at the rate of 40 millimeter per minute. So it is going to take less than a minute. Okay. Immediately you will be promoted. Promotion. Because you had said more than 2 minutes in this particular operation itself. Alright. Then once you use any can cycle, remember that you have to cancel it. So you cancel it. G80 is the cancellation of the can cycles. Then G28. G28, if you remember, it is a reference point return. And G28 has to be written with G91. Reference point return. That means machine home position. So now you know at the end of a drilling cycle, that means 25 mm it will go down, and we have studied moment that drilling is done, the drill will lift to Z2 position. We have selected Z2. So Z2 पे आ जाएगा. Now from that position, this tool will return to the reference point. This is my reference point. यहाँ पे जाएगा rapidly, rapidly. Okay, and then you will call for the next tool. It is always advisable or it is always safe to make the tool change at the machine zero point, because there is a quite a good distance, there is no interference. There is no need to take tool to the reference point. You can make the tool change here, but it is risky, it is not safe. That is one thing. And second thing is, for some machines the tool change will happen only at the reference point. That tool arm, ATC, it is automatic tool changer, that is available only at the machine reference point. So therefore you don't have choice, you have to take the tool to the reference point in order to happen, tool in order to tool change happen. Okay. Then next is my boring bar. Okay, boring bar. So tool number 2, that is M6. M6 is nothing but the tool change. Okay, my position is this, with respect to this it is X200 and Y150. Then this is the tool number 2, the uska offset, that is the length has been given in H02. Then Z is 100. Okay, again here you have to make G0 Z2. Hmm. Now boring bar G98 G85. Now here we have used a reaming cycle, which is not correct. You must use a reamer either here, huh? But reamers are not available like 59.5. So here you must use G86, huh? Not G85. So that is a mistake. And then once you use the cycle, at the end of the cycle the tool will return to its original position, that is Z2, in this case at Z100, even if you are not returned. So remember, here you are using a cycle, so students, most of students, they don't understand. उनको लगता है कि at the end of the block 50 the tool or the drill is at Z minus 25. No, we have used the can cycle G81. So can cycle mein what happens, the tool will move back to its earlier position. So at the end, once this is drilling is done, that even though it does here G0 Z2, it will come back to its original position, which you know yesterday itself we studied the can cycle. Right? If you use G01, suppose if you use, you can use G01. So G01 Z minus 25. And then from here, suppose if you are trying to use this block, then accident will happen because the tool is down, drill is down. वहां से क्या होगा, वो ड्रिल है, वो आइदर ड्रिल विल ब्रेक या वर्कपीस को पूरा फाड़ देगा, वो वर्कपीस को उड़ा देगा. So if you are not using can cycle, if you are simply writing G01 Z minus 25, then make sure you write G0 Z2 so that your drill is lifted up and then you take it back to the reference point. Hmm? Now you have finished both. So everything same. Tool number three, that is tool chain. Alright. This is your workpiece offset X200 by 150. Then this is your tool length of. Hmm? Now you have finished boring here G76, that is for some different machine. But the most common is what I have taught is that you have to use G86 for your examination, Z minus 25, and don't use R5 throughout the cycles, any cycles. Instead of that, you use Q.5. If you remember yesterday, I told that this is the tool retract. The boring bar will retract at the bottom. Bottom में what happens once it is done, the boring bar stops. The boring bar stops. All right, and it retracts by zero point 0.5 and then it moves up rapidly. So it is retracted by zero point 0.5 and then it moves rapidly up. And again, make sure that you cancel it, that is G80, and then return to the reference point. G28, G91 is nothing but a return to the reference point. Now, drill in diameter 10. So tool number 4 and M6. Some kind of a disturbance. So drilling diameter 10. So drilling diameter 10, where it is, these are the two holes. These two holes. Hmm. So tool number 4, then you are G0, G90, G54. The first position of the hole is X100 and Y255. Then this is your tool length Z100. Then G81. Now here you are using G99. So in G99, the tool is not retracted all the way to 100, but it will retract it to 5, R5. So instead of R5, you can give here G0 Z2. So in that case, the tool will retract to 2 mm. Then next hole is at 275 Y50, and then you are cancelling. So this is that. So one hole is at X100 and Y255. This is the position X100 and Y255. And then another hole is at X275 and Y50. X275 and Y50. So that was, so now this bore is done, these two holes are done. Now we have to do, now we are left with this M12 tapping and we are left with this M10 tapping. So if you want to do M12 tapping, then you need to have drill. So this drill and tap size are available in the table, standard table. So M12 के लिए the drill size is 10.25 or 10.5. Generally subtract the pitch. Usually M12 the pitch is 1.5. So just subtract 1.5 from 12. So that gives you your drill size. So 10.5. 10.5. So it is better to use diameter 10.5 drill instead of 10.25, or else you'll have to calculate. So the position of this is X380. So that is this X380 and Y255. X380 and Y255. This is your tool length compensation. To 25 and R5. So instead of R5, I have told you to use G0 Z2. Hmm. And then once the drilling is done 10.25, then you can go for M12 tapping. So that is now tool number 6, G54. All right. So now here you are going to use cycle, tapping cycle, that is G84. Then last operation, that is M10. M10. So in N10 now the tool number is 7. There's a lot of disturbance outside our society. So G54 X150 Y150. So X150, that is X150, where it is X150, I think this, and Y150 is this. Okay, so there are four holes. So this is your X150 Y150. Just have a look on this. There is a lot of disturbance and try to understand on your own. X150 Y150. So you are going down, then you are moving to X250. X250 is, I think, where it is X250 is this, and then X200 and Y200. X200 and Y200 is this. Alright, and then X200 and Y100. See now here, you are mentioned just Y100. There is no need to write X200. It will take automatically X200. The previous, and here in X250 you are not mentioned Y, so it will take automatically Y150. So this is what the program for this component. If you have any doubt, you please ask. Otherwise, because of this disturbance, probably we'll have to wind up. Yeah. गलत पीछे की तरफ मारने को बोलो तुम्हारे पीछे आया